Hi everyone, I am Janice and welcome to Yaps with Jay. I am a South African woman in my 30s, living abroad and navigating life 1 week, 1 challenge and 1 healing moment at a time. This channel will be my personal diary, raw reflections, real talk, and everything in between. If you're on your own journey of growth and self-discovery, you're in the right place. All right, everybody, so a little bit more about me. I am, as I said, a 30-year-old woman, well, close to being 30, and I am living abroad in South Korea as an English teacher. And for a really long time, I didn't think I was going to be a teacher. I think for the most part, I really wanted to create. I really wanted to shoot documentaries, actually. And growing up, I lived in a household where both my parents were teachers and my sister was studying to be a teacher. So I kind of have always been in that environment of teaching. And I was like, no, I am not going to be a teacher. I don't even like kids. And my mother actually told me, no, you can be a teacher. Like you give off teacher, I guess. She didn't say it in those words, but basically just telling me that, hey, this is what you should do. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. I really want to create. And that's still a big part of me. But I think when I had gone through, going to school for film and sound and TV and all of that, I got my degree. And then after that, again, I wanted to create something. I couldn't lock into it. And just one day I decided, you know what, let me just leave. And I said, Korea, I initially wanted to go to Japan, and I said, you know what, let's just do Korea, because at that time it was like the thick of COVID. So I said, let me choose Korea. And I think it's the first time I actually was like, I'm just gonna go. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna find. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm going to go. This is what I'm supposed to do. And for the first 3 years, it was tough, because when you're in Korea, you really do need tough skin. And it was hard being away from family, especially a family like mine where we're so close to each other, that it was super hard for me to kind of say, you know what, now I'm on my own. But, I got through all of that, and where I'm at now, it's almost been maybe 5+ years, like a little over 5 years that I've been in Korea. And each day it makes me realize how much I genuinely love teaching. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I don't know what next year is going to look like. I don't know what the next 5 years will look like, but I am kind of good and stable in where I'm at right now. All right, so just a little backstory on why I started this and kind of what to expect from this channel and from me. I initially wanted to create like a podcast where, we can talk about our lives abroad, and it was going to be this big production, and I really had a huge vision for what I wanted to do. And so I actually started this when I was just, I think, freshly out of college, and when I just had gotten my degree. And I already, I knew this is what I wanted to do, but executing was the issue, finances. And I think at that time I had already known that I wanted to go somewhere. I just didn't know where it was going to be. And so in the midst of us, I guess, shooting the first episode, I decided I'm going to Korea. And so that plan kind of fell through, and then life was, teaching me some lessons through the first couple of years in Korea. And I sat down with a friend of mine one day. It was the first time we had met, and he was like I was just telling him about my experiences and what I've gone through, and the lessons I've learned and whatever. And it was just a casual conversation. And he said, you should put that on something. Like, you should tell people that. And I said to him, I actually really wanted to do that. I just haven't had the chance, or I haven't had, people to help me do it. And, you never really need people. But in my head, I was like, I can't do this by myself. So that's what was stopping me. And procrastination, obviously. And eventually we did shoot 2 episodes, but, life happens. People don't really want to do it. People fall out, or I put my trust in not just me, but in other people. And, there's no, it's not bad to do that. I just knew that I needed to do this for myself. And in that way, I'm not disappointed. And if I am, I'm disappointed in myself. And I just work harder to do that, to overcome that, rather. And yeah, so I just decided I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm just going to take a break from it because of the disappointment I had from it. And because I knew where I wanted it to go, but it just wasn't going there. And so my fear of failing kind of stopped me from just continuing to do it. And the school that I was at the time, I was kind of completing that contract. So everything kind of just all in one was like, I just need a break. And I am now in a space, I think, where I genuinely can just, I have the time to do it. I have the means to do it. And I think just mentally and emotionally, I feel like I can do it now, because there's a lot of things that I had to tell myself, like I had to tell myself the truth about myself and how far I've come. And I had to give myself a lot of grace. And I just said, just do it. Just pick up the camera and do it. Whether people are going to watch it or not, just do it. So yeah, that's pretty much what you can expect from me on a weekly basis. Just a space where I can talk. And some weeks I'm going to be laughing through ridiculous moments. And some weeks I'm going to be unpacking some heavy topics. And that actually brings me into this week's Yap. I am right now about a month away, I think, from turning 30. And that number has been like yapping in my ear for the longest. Because I think I had a very clear idea of what my life would look like at 30. I wanted this, or I imagined the stability and maybe having a family and being financially stable. And, all those things that society likes to hype up about being an adult. But I think as the countdown to my 30th year begins, I've had to slowly come to terms with the fact that it just is not my life. And it just won't look like the vision that I had when I was growing up. Or the vision that I had when I was 25. Because I feel like each year my vision changes about what my life should look like. And honestly, for a while, it really messed with me because I felt behind. I felt like I had missed something, or that I had taken, the wrong turn somewhere. And I was actually speaking to my dad about it not so long ago. And I was saying, I see all these people getting married and, people that are younger than me, getting married and having kids, and like I'm not there yet. And he said to me that that's just where you're supposed to be, though. And it quickly just made me realize that I'm actually living in an answered prayer. Like I prayed to be abroad or to travel. I just didn't know what that would look like, but I knew that this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to travel. And now I'm living abroad, and I am able to explore other countries. I get a salary. I get to work with kids, and I get to fulfill things that I didn't initially growing up knew that I wanted to fulfill. But now, I am actually genuinely living in an answered prayer. And that's all we can actually be grateful for, right? Giving ourselves grace and just being thankful that we are where we are. So yeah, I've grown through all of this, not always gracefully, but definitely deeply. And I might not have all the answers right now or all, what my life would look like in the next 2 years, but I do take a pause whenever that moment comes and I tell myself, you're living in an answered prayer. And just be grateful for the moments that you do get to experience, and I think maybe this week's reminder for myself and maybe for you too is that life is not going to always look how you imagined it. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's a delay or that it's, you failed at life. It just means that maybe you're just being rerouted. And the path, I certainly know that the path that God has put me on and the path that I'm taking now is the path that I'm supposed to be on. So that is something to celebrate, not something to stress about. So that is where I am at this week, somewhere between what life should have been or what I thought life should have been like and where I'm at right now. And I'm trying to hold on to both of those with just a little bit of grace. And so if you're also kind of in that space, then just know that you are not alone. I think we are all just figuring life out one step at a time. And sometimes the only thing you can do is show up. And I hope this is like a time for you to just reflect and think of the timelines that maybe you should let go of, or timelines that you have let go of and now you're in a space where you're, much happier. And, sometimes life doesn't look the way that we want it to look like, but we just have to remember that, as unexpected as life can be, it's exactly where we're supposed to be. Thank you so much, everybody, for sitting and listening to me yap and just sharing this space with me. And if anything resonated with you in this episode, please feel free to drop a comment. And also don't forget to subscribe and like and share it with somebody that needs it. And something that I would like for you to reflect on this week is what part of my life right now is an answered prayer. Like what part of my life right now is something that I've always dreamed of, whether it's the small things or whether it's the big things. But until next time, keep going, keep growing, and keep yapping. I'll catch you on the next episode of Yaps with Jay. Bye.